Welcome to the RSP Boiler Room. I'm Matt Waldman with the Rookie Scouting Portfolio. Today we're going to talk about anticipation. And not only anticipation, but quick processing. What does a quick processor mean? Because you hear that a lot about quarterbacks. And, what you might intuit about that is they make quick decisions. They understand that there should be a very small gap between recognizing what's on the field and acting on it. And it sounds simple. It sounds like you see what you need to do and then you act on it. It is simple. It's also an elegant thing because simple things are very hard to do, especially at the quarterback position when it comes to seeing what you're supposed to do and doing it in a split second after. You can be just a little bit late and it can make all the difference. So the gentleman we're going to watch today, the quarterback from Colorado, he's not alone in this. In fact, the vast majority of quarterback prospects that you are going to see, and many pro quarterback prospects who have been in the league for, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, oftentimes where they fail is they have a gap between what they recognize and when to act on it because they're not always sure about what they see, or they hesitate on the idea of committing to it. And you're going to see that on this play. This is an out to the slot receiver on the left-hand side. And you're going to see, we're going to watch it all the way through one time. You see the ball is thrown high and out of bounds. Let's watch it one more time. High and out of bounds. Now, why is that? We can look at first, let's break it down a little slower. We look at it first and say, well, it's probably high and out of bounds because look at this defensive end or this defensive tackle looping around and leaping and forcing a high throw. Well, wouldn't that be it, Waldman? That's why he had to throw it out of bounds. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Not so simple, okay? He didn't have to be at this point of the play to throw the ball. He could have thrown it earlier than what he did, and this defender wouldn't have been in a position to leap for it. So let's take a look at it and break it down a little bit more. 1, 2, 3-step drop. All right, so we're at the third step of a 3-step drop. You've got that defensive tackle looping around. He isn't even ready to leap yet. Okay. When that back foot hits that third step, his first read, he should be knowing whether he's throwing to that first read. Well, his first read is the slot receiver. Slot receiver is at the top of his stem on his out route. This is the perfect time to let the ball go. This is called anticipation. You're anticipating the break, and your feet should be synced up with the route with your first read if it's a 3-step drop, and this is your first route. The break's coming when that third step hits the ground. There's the third step hitting the ground. There's the receiver making his break. Well, guess what? The ball should be out right now. The ball's out right now. This looping defender is not going to be going airborne just yet. But watch how long he waits. He takes a step and then a second step after that, and then he begins his release. By this point, the defensive tackle is able to leap, and it's forcing him to throw the ball high. Even if the defender wasn't here and he had to force the ball high, he'd probably be throwing this ball out of bounds because he's late with the throw in the first place. Because you can see right here that foot hits the ground, and right here he should be stepping into the throw, but he takes that extra step to throw. That extra beat is the hesitation. You don't need that gap. You need to let that ball go when you see it. And that hesitation is usually a little bit of doubt. You see that when you look at the feet of a quarterback. If they're taking extra steps out of their break, there's a little bit of doubt. Sometimes that doubt is valid. Sometimes it's because something's going on with the coverage of what they see downfield that forces them to hesitate, and then they need to act appropriately. Other times, there should be no doubt. It's just them having doubt in their mind about whether or not they should throw it, or they see it clearly, and then they're waiting for some sort of comfortable reason to let the ball go if there is going to be one. Or they wait for the pressure to arrive and go, well, I better throw it now. if that comfort level is not going to arrive. And oftentimes, if you have that mindset, you're going to be late. And when you're late, you're not giving your receiver much time to come back, or not much room for the ball as much as it would have been earlier. You're also giving the defender more time to recover. And both of those things happen, and the ball's out of bounds because he has to throw the ball high, and he's got less room to throw that ball in the first place because of the fact that he hesitates right here. So let's look at this play one more full time and think about it from that perspective. 3-step drop, turn, step, throw. The turn might have been okay, but right there, the decision should be, I'm stepping into the throw and releasing the ball rather than taking 2 little steps. And that split second of 2 little steps is all it takes to be the difference between a complete pass on 3rd and 10 for at least 9 yards. If you could have thrown it earlier, the receiver doesn't have to make his break back to the ball inside as much. Might be able to run a flatter route with the defender not as much over top, and it might have been a first down or at least a 4th and 1. Instead, you've got 4th and 10. All because he didn't trust what he saw here. And you're going to see this with almost every quarterback in this class and in every class that you ever see, because the difference between the really good quarterbacks in the NFL and a really good college player oftentimes is that mental part of the game and that confidence level to trust what you see and trust what's supposed to happen and act as soon as you see the sign that you're looking for. This here should be that sign for him. 3rd step on the ground, receiver starting his break, open field over top with the defender playing off coverage, the safety off coverage there. He didn't act on it. Let's take a look at Cooper Rush, the quarterback prospect from Central Michigan. Same thing as Seifu Lutau. What you're going to see here is he's going to attack with this tight end working the out route up the left hash here. Right here, the quarterback should begin his release. Quarterback has actually taken a second hop at this point of the play. 1, 2, 3. Ball should be coming out with a step forward. But he hops 2 little steps and then throws the ball. And guess what? Gave the time for the safety to recover and undercut the pass from a trail position. I would claim that if you take a look at where the safety was and where this tight end is right here, with this back foot in the ground right here, the ball should be coming out within that next step, so that that extra step would have made a difference. The ball wouldn't have been late, might have been out a little bit further ahead. He could have led the receiver a little bit more here. And then with what you have with this trail coverage, might have been a step behind. And if this trail coverage is a step behind, even with the way the throw is right here, it's not knocked away, it's a touchdown. Now here's an example of Rush showing that anticipation that you want to see. 3 steps, hitch, and throw. And that's nicely done. There's no hesitation here. The only hesitation is that he's being patient with this hole behind these 2 drop-in zone defenders. And he hitches once and just throws the ball, and he gets it right where it needs to be. 3-step drop, hitch twice, and throw. Now that's where you'd want to hesitate. It's showing you an example of patience, but there's a logical reason why you're hesitating. These other routes that we saw, there was no logical explanation for that hesitation other than that they weren't sure they should throw it. They were waiting for it to be wide open. This is a case where you really have to wait for it to be open, and he shows the hesitation or the anticipation here because the ball's out as the receiver's making that break around these drop defenders. So that's food for thought in terms of processing and anticipation for quarterbacking. Hopefully that helps you in your studies. And for more RSP Boiler Room videos, you can check out my YouTube channel, the RSP Film Room, or you can check out my blog, www.mattwaldmanrsp.com. Subscribe to either one. In fact, I'd recommend both for the different content that they do have available there. Thanks again.